What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction video, and here we go for you guys today, man. Patrick CC, when a pop star disses the greatest rapper of all time. Yeah, man. Eminem has had, he's done that a lot. Mm, yeah, yeah. Like people, like he has a lot of like his track record when it comes to dissing people. It's not the best. I gotta keep it real. It's not the best. He's just quite a lot of people that's really not rappers. They're like rock stars, pop stars, people like that. But this is an interesting conversation because of course, I gotta bring this up: the Drake and Kendrick beef. People consider Drake to be a pop star and Kendrick to be like a true lyricist, a true rapper. And it's gonna spark up really interesting conversations. And I don't consider Drake a pop star at all, but it's to each to people have their own opinions, and they can say whatever they want to say, but that's not how Drake started. That's all I'm gonna say. That's I'm gonna just leave it there. But whether or not he was faking it or not, and the whole culture vulture type thing, he did start from hip hop. And he was really rapping, and he was being himself when he first started. But of course, things changed over time, and But we're talking about Eminem, and of course, when he disses a pop star, because the thumbnail is Mariah Carey and Eminem. So let's get into it, man. No more talking.
What if I told you one of the most vicious and savage diss tracks of all time was not a rap song, but rather a catchy pop song that teenage girls and moms all around the world loved? Now, the diss was aimed at a rapper, Eminem, who is known to destroy anyone who dares to test him on the mic, but it was performed by Mariah Carey, an iconic pop star who has 19 #1 hit songs. You'd think Eminem beefing with a female singer would be a heavily one-sided battle. This isn't a fair fight, right? Wrong. This beef proved to be too much for Marshall Mathers to handle, and today we are going to break down exactly what happened in the only beef that Eminem ever lost. At the 43rd Annual Grammy Awards, Eminem performed his hit.
I'll say this before we continue. Beefing with a pop star is like, and especially a female pop star, like, we obviously know who will win that. Like, realistically, we know who's going to win that battle. But the fact that he was even beefing with a pop star to begin with, like, at that point, it's like you just picking on a weakling at that point. Like, but
hit song Stan alongside Elton John. Mariah Carey was in the crowd watching and was wildly impressed with M's performance. Both M and Mariah recall that she reached out to Marshall, asking if he wanted to help her on her 9th studio album, Charm Bracelet, even though he is not featured nor credited on the album. M claims that the two dated for several months at this time, whereas Mariah says their relationship was strictly professional. In May of 2002, Eminem dropped his iconic album, The Eminem Show, and on the track Superman he rapped, "What you trying to be? My new wife? What, you Mariah? Fly through twice." Superman featured guest vocals from Dina Ray, a singer who previously collaborated with Eminem on tracks like Come On Everybody and Drugs Ballad. When discussing her time working with Marshall on Superman, Ray claimed that Mariah was originally meant to be on the song.
I'll give you a little fun fact. Mariah was the original vocal on Superman. Whatever happened, happened. I think he was a little upset. And he called me, he said, call Dina. So I get flown in. Her vocal was actually the reference. I recorded there in the studio in his crib, and that's how Superman came about.
But Superman wasn't the only song where Mariah was mentioned. On the track When the Music Stops, he rapped, "What the F you take me for? A joke? You smoking crack? Before I do that, I'd beg Mariah to take me back." Now these mentions were soft. They honestly don't come across as disses. They come off as Eminem just being upset that things didn't work out with her. And considering the Eminem Show sold 1.3 million copies in its first first week and would go on to sell 27 million copies, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time, rumors quickly spread that Mariah Carey was the woman he was rapping about and presumably dating. Those rumors would be confirmed in a Rolling Stone interview in 2002 when Eminem was asked about them being boyfriend and girlfriend. There's truth to that, but on the whole personal level, I'm not really feeling it. I just don't like her as a person. In December of 2002, Mariah told Oprah the rumors are not true.
Okay, so what was going on between you and Eminem, if anything?
Nothing. Look, I talked to him. I, have spoken to him a few times, whatever. But in terms of me having like an intimate relationship with men, I can name them all on one hand, and he ain't on the hand.
She doubled down that same month on Larry King.
How about Eminem?
What about him?
Do you date him?
No.
Where was that printed?
That was printed everywhere.
And you didn't date him at all?
I hung out with him. I spoke to him on the phone. I think I was probably with him total of 4 times. And I don't consider that dating somebody.
Then Mariah released Charm Bracelet, and fans suspected the song Clown was dedicated to Eminem when she sung, "I should have left it at how you doing. I should have left it at I like your music too. I should have never called you back when you pursued me. You should have never."
Well, you know what's crazy? I never knew that that Obsessed song. I never knew that was about Eminem. Granted, I was young at the time, but that song was a banger. I ain't gonna lie. And I do remember the video a little bit, but like I said, I didn't know that was supposed to be about Eminem and all that other stuff. Like I was just listening to it because it was just a great song. But to find out years later that it was a diss this whole time blew me out the water. But watching, like, seeing some of the clips from the video, like, oh yeah, that is supposed to be what's his name, and then I can't believe that song was about Eminem, bro. This guy was literally dissing a pop star. That's hilarious. Hey man, she was holding her own though. I ain't gonna lie, she kind of was holding her own.
Never intimated we were lovers, when you know very well we never even touched each other. Later in the song, she responded to M's claims on Superman where he said she flew to his house. "I gotta break it to you delicately, dummy. Taking my G5 20 minutes wasn't nothing, but I guess you wouldn't know. That's the way I roll. Consequently now your ego's fully overblown. You don't want the world to know that you're just a puppet show, and the little boy inside often sits at home alone, and cries, 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 cries." Remember, Mariah heavily downplayed her involvement with M, saying she simply spoke to him a few times. Flying a private jet to someone just to speak for 20 minutes does seem a little unrealistic, unless you are Taylor Swift, who regularly takes extremely short trips on her private jet. But when you consider that Mariah Carey achieved Taylor Swift level success by 1995, it's safe to assume that she was also taking private jets everywhere she went. Mariah continued to take shots at Eminem. While performing Clown at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois in July 2003, a female dancer came on stage dressed in a blonde wig and wearing Ben Wallace's Detroit Pistons jersey. Since Eminem is from Detroit and has also been seen wearing this exact jersey, it's clear that she was depicting him as the clown on stage. When the song ended, a giant screen flashed "The Marionette Show" with the same Eminem Show styled reversed lettering. Mariah grinned, telling the audience, "It's all in fun. We're just having a good time with the show up here." Eminem didn't respond and the beef died out for 2 years. But that's not even close to the end of this feud. But real quick, I want to talk about how I'm always getting annoying spam calls, and I know it's because big companies can't keep our data safe.
It's a sponsor, right?
560 million users' data were put up for sale on the dark web in a recent Ticketmaster hack. The stolen data includes names, addresses, emails.
No, this is a sponsor. It gotta be. Yeah, it's a sponsor.
Ticketmaster data breach. I wouldn't worry, because Aura is always doing the hard work to keep me safe. I'm not leaving myself vulnerable to data breaches. And if you don't want to either, you can go to aura.com/PatrickCC and try your first 2 weeks for free. Thanks, Aura. But Eminem's career was at an all-time high, so it's likely he didn't respond because it didn't make sense to divert any of his success and attention to another artist. Universal Pictures released the drama film 8 Mile, a semi-autobiographical portrayal of Eminem's early life and his struggles to break into the hip-hop scene in Detroit. 8 Mile was a critical and commercial success, earning $242 million worldwide. Eminem Eminem also contributed to the soundtrack, which debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 200, selling over 700,000 copies in its first week. The soundtrack's success can be credited to its lead single, Lose Yourself, which became Eminem's first Billboard Hot 100 #1 single, remaining there for 12 consecutive weeks. Lose Yourself won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, making it the first hip-hop song to receive the award. It also won the Grammy Award for Best Rap Song and Best Rap Solo Performance. Then in 2004, Eminem released his fifth album, Encore. Although it received less favorable reviews from his previous albums, Encore still went #1 on the Billboard 200 and was certified quadruple platinum a month after its release. Eminem was an unstoppable force, and it seemed like he was just going to let his success slap Mariah in the face. But then in 2005, she had the biggest comeback of her career. Mariah released We Belong Together, which had the X factor that was missing from Mariah's catalog in the past few years. Critics praised the song's production, Carey's impressive vocal range, and the emotional depth of the lyrics. We Belong Together broke chart records in the US and became Mariah's 16th Billboard Hot 100 #1 single. She then released The Emancipation of Mimi, which became Carey's highest-selling album in the US since her 1995 album Daydream. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with 404,000 copies sold. The Emancipation of Mimi garnered 8 nominations at the 48th Grammy Awards, including for Album of the Year, and she won 3 awards including Best Contemporary R&B Album. Mariah's success bothered Eminem. Even he admitted it, because after 2 years of silence, he randomly started taking shots at Mariah once again. Eminem was on the 3rd edition of the Anger Management Tour in the summer of 2005, where, during one of his performances, he orchestrated 2 minutes of his set to diss Mariah. He changed the lyrics of his song Ass Like That to
private conversation. So this is the first time I don't want to see it. Every time I see her video on the TV, she's still I know.
He then plays a snippet of her 2005 hit song We Belong Together before playing alleged private voicemails and detailing stories of their relationship.
Who is that? Bro.
Yo, that sounds like Mariah Carey. That's me. Get the out of here, man. Don't tell me she's behind one of these doors. Mariah, I told you to stop following me every motherfucking city we go. It's over between us. Remember you said there was never anything between us? Remember you said on VH1 or MTV or whatever it was, man? There was never anything between us, and you never flew Jess to my house at 5 o'clock in the morning and passed out on my motherfucking kitchen floor. What are you talking about? You know what the I'm talking about. I know you got a new wife. Not a new wife, it's the same girl I've been with. I'm trying to make shit better at home. I'm trying to get my family back together. You're f***ing up right now.
Like this, you like this.
Oh my God, man. Sick.
Now, I'm not sure if these are private voicemails or actually snippets of the original Superman recordings, because remember, Dina Ray said that Mariah recorded a Superman demo, and that song has multiple conversational talking skits in it. This time, Mariah seemingly ignored Eminem because it wouldn't be worth it for her to give him attention during her career resurgence, but M continued to antagonize her. In 2006, Eminem took things even more personal and spoke about the pair's alleged sexual history on the track Jimmy Crack Corn. Meanwhile, your mind's on us, like mine's on Mariah, and y'all is just like her. You're all effing liars, but I'll just keep effing you like I effed her, right in the with KY. Yes, sir. Marshall also appeared on the radio station Shade 45, where he claimed that he and Mariah had a relationship for a good 6-7 months. It didn't work. I wasn't really into what she was into. Our personalities collided. He added, "She's a diva, and I'm a little more regular, I guess." He completed his statement with a quote that convinced Mariah fans that he was just simply a jealous ex. I can never deny her talent, but the fact that she denied we ever had something, that's bad. For Eminem to claim that he wasn't really into her and that she's too
accents
much of a
was,
diva, while in the same breath
was
being
on a
upset that
lot
she
of the
denied their
songs.
fling
Like, I
revealed
couldn't
his
believe
insecurities.
the
Basically,
amount of
every rapper is
accents
known
that
for
was
being
in
a
each song, the
misogynistic,
way he
tough
was just
guy
switching back and
egomaniac.
forth.
And for a woman who was
Like,
more successful than him
it
at
was
that
bizarre
point,
to
to
me.
deny he
And he
ever
said
had a
that he had a
chance
whole
with her,
different
even if
accents
it
on his
was a
album a
lie,
while
crushed
ago,
him, and he could not let it
just to
go.
hear it
3
like
years
in
later,
plain
Eminem
sight
released the track
throughout
Bagpipes
every
from
single
Baghdad
song,
off
I
his
just couldn't believe
2009
it.
album, Relapse. In the song, Eminem mentioned Carrie again.
Mm. Yep. Yep.
Rapping, Mariah, whatever happened to us? Why did we have to break up? He also added a few lines targeted at Mariah's then husband and actor/rapper, Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon better back the F up. I'm not playing. I want her back, you punk. I mean, I really want you bad. Nick, you had your fun. I've come to kick you in your sack of junk. Then he later says, Nick Cannon, you prick, I wish you luck with the whore. Eminem fans believed he was just joking, whereas Mariah fans look at him as being genuinely desperate for her attention. Nick Cannon responded to Bagpipes from Baghdad in a now deleted blog post. I felt sorry for him because he must really be stuck in the past. Not only has his music not evolved, but also homeboy is still obsessed with my wife, the same female that wouldn't let him get to second base from 8 years ago. If Nick stopped there, he would have seemed like a respectable husband defending his wife, but as he kept typing, he just kept embarrassing himself. Then I asked myself, should I go find this bitch and whoop his little ass? Most people don't know I'm nice in the ring and have been training in boxing and martial arts for years. That would just be childish and silly of me to bully this dude. I thought we got past the days where white men could spew vulgar obscenities at our beautiful queens and get away with it. This act of racist bigotry cannot go unnoticed. So Miss Marshall, I'm going to make you wish you never spoke my name and regret the ungodly things you said about my wife. You will now be known as the rapper who lost to corny ass Nick Cannon. Eminem sarcastically responded to Nick's comments in an interview with Tim Westwood TV.
Nah, I mean, with the song with Bagpipes from Baghdad, there's a line on there that was a little harsh. I said it, you know, it wasn't like, I had no idea that he was gonna take it like he took it.
He took it.
I had no idea that Nick Cannon was gonna start wilding out on me.
Wilded out? I mean, what is his problem? Is his wife?
I don't know. I heard about some of the things he was saying.
I mean, he said some mad things
read
right
his
now.
blog or anything like that.
It's like it's his mission now, he's saying.
This was a banger, I'm telling you, man.
That's how he feels.
Like, I don't remember the first time
it is what
I
it
heard
is.
this
He's
song,
supposed to defend
but
his
when
wife. I expected him to do that.
remember
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's a line I said, it's a song, and
you couldn't
what I
escape
actually
it.
meant to say is
Like,
I
you
wish them the
couldn't
best.
escape the song. I just didn't
get
know
that
it was
from the
towards
record.
Eminem.
But that's
When
what I
this
meant
was
to
a
say.
banger,
Still,
was a
Eminem's
banger,
frequent
a
mentioning of
certified
Mariah
banger,
seemed
bro.
unwarranted,
Like,
especially since
this
she
is one of
hadn't
her
mentioned him
biggest
publicly
songs
since
ever, if not the
2003.
biggest song
One
she
could
ever
describe
had.
his behavior
And it
as
was a diss track
obsessive.
towards,
At
like,
least that's
one
how
of the
Mariah
greatest
viewed
rappers
it.
of all
And this
time.
inspired
If not
Mariah
the
to drop
greatest
one of the
rapper of
most
all time.
ruthless.
Like, come on now. Like, dude. The fact that he was competing with a pop star and it wasn't even a blowout. She was literally competing with him side by side. Like, that's crazy to me.
Cutthroat disses of all time in the form of a catchy pop anthem called Obsessed. While not mentioning anyone specific, the song addresses a person who is obsessed with Mariah despite her lack of interest. She sings, "Why you so obsessed with me? Boy, I wanna know. Lying that you're sexing me when everybody knows. It's clear that you're upset with me." Throughout the track, there aren't really any bold claims, damning evidence, or lyrics that are extremely harsh towards Eminem. It's just a sassy, catchy, and fun fun banger that absolutely dominated popular radio in 2009.
You know what's crazy?
The song debuted at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100,
when I seen
making
the
it
posters
Carey's
and
highest
everything like
debut
that,
in over
it
a
reminds me of
decade.
Stan,
Every girl in
when
the
he had
club,
that, like a
soccer mom in a
obsessed
minivan,
fan
and
that
don't
was just
lie,
so
even the
obsessed with
tough
Eminem
guys
that
were
he had
singing these
posters all
lyrics
over
all
him.
summer
He was
long.
getting
To make matters
tattoos of
worse
him,
for
like,
M, in the music video, she
that's
portrays
what she
both
probably got
herself
that
and a
from.
bellhop
Now I'm
who is
thinking about it,
secretly
like, the
obsessed with
posters, why
Mariah
he put
Carey. The stalker
Eminem being
follows
obsessed with
Mariah
Mariah
around
Carey,
wearing
like
a
she's
large
flipping it
gray
on him
hoodie
with
and
that. That's
sweatpants,
a
meant to
nice little
resemble
flip she had right
Eminem.
there.
At the stalker's home, they
Wow,
have
that's
posters of
crazy. I'm
Mariah
just
as
now
well as
catching
other
that
pieces of
connection.
memorabilia everywhere, and this is
Wow.
particularly
She
creative,
was
seeing
actually competing with a rapper. She was actually competing with a legitimate rapper, dude. Yep. Wow. Yep. The warning.
as M is the same person who made Stan, which resembled a similar obsession with a high-profile musician. This is the highest level of trolling and pettiness I have ever seen in a music video. Obsessed is truly one of the best diss tracks of all time for its simplicity, catchiness, and replay value. Not to mention the layer of truth in the song, and as you can imagine, Eminem was angry, and he needed to respond. Less than 2 weeks after Obsessed dropped, on July 30th, 2009, Eminem retaliated with The Warning, a diss track produced by Dr. Dre where he provides explicit details about his alleged relationship with Carey, including intimate descriptions and references to private conversations. M's anger can be felt in this song from the very beginning as he starts the track with, "Only reason I dissed you in the first place is because you denied seeing me. Now I'm pissed off." He addressed her record. "Oh gee, is that supposed to be me in the video with the goatee? Wow, Mariah, I didn't expect you to go balls out. Shut the F up before I put all them phone calls out you made at my house when you was wildin' out before Nick. When you was on my and give you something to smile about. How many times you fly to my house, still trying to count." He continues to claim that he and Mariah dated for over 6 months and only had sex once. He tries so hard to prove this point by going into extreme detail about how he was terrible in bed and she was grossed out by him. However, Eminem established in the 8 Mile film that he's willing to make fun of himself to weaken the enemy's attack. He also creatively used Mariah's voicemail recordings in this track to almost make it seem like she helped him diss herself on his record. The Warning is a brutal diss track, and if it were targeted at any other rapper, it would have surely been enough to bury them. But it was aimed at a female pop icon, and nobody expected her to string together some bars for a response. So it kinda seemed like Eminem was just arguing with himself, and it solidified even further to Mariah fans that he looked desperate, because the premise of the entire song is basically that she won't acknowledge that they had a fling. And if you're Eminem, who can get literally any girl in the world, why are you so mad about this one? Mariah never responded to The Warning, and in 2010, Eminem told Vibe magazine, "I really don't want to talk about her anymore." He explained, "I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I'm not even going to comment about it. I'm done with that whole situation. I said what I had to say. I'm done." It's just crazy that Eminem started a decade-long feud with someone mentioning them in multiple songs just because he wanted the world to know they had sex one time. He tried everything he could to provoke Mariah, but every time she addressed it, his reactions just proved her point that he was kind of obsessed with her. And this would have been an embarrassingly abysmal defeat for Eminem if Nick Cannon just shut his mouth. Because every time Nick Cannon spoke, it just made Eminem look better. Nick brought up Eminem multiple times over the years. While speaking with Hip Hop DX, he said, "The way the Eminem thing started was that I never had an issue with him. If anything, I've been one of his biggest fans. But when another man crosses a line of disrespect, then you gotta deal with it. I can't just sit there and allow someone to disrespect my family and think there aren't going to be any repercussions." But there weren't any repercussions. So he did let someone disrespect his family. But he does claim that he went looking for Eminem to fight him.
I was ready for whatever, so I went looking for him.
Ooh.
I called managers. So I was like, "Look, if you want to get on the phone, if I need to come to Detroit, like what is it? Like, cause you done disrespected my wife.
Oh yeah, I heard this
I gotta show my wife I'm a man. For one,
it
got, you know, he said my name. I'm like, look, I know I ain't gonna be. I said that I know I'm not gonna be able to out rap you, but I will whoop your ass. And those were the exact words.
A few months after that interview, Fat Joe released Lord Above featuring Eminem. During his verse, he raps, "I know me and Mariah didn't end on a high note, but that other dude's whipped. That kitty got him neutered. Tried to tell him this chick's a nut job before he got his jewels clipped. Almost got my caboose kicked. Full quit. You not gonna do shit. I let her chop my balls off too before I lose to you, Nick." Nick entirely misinterpreted the lyrics because he said in an interview that Eminem admitted that he almost got his ass kicked.
With some other stuff about Mariah.
He said he admitted that he was gonna get his ass, gonna whoop his ass. He admitted that. Almost got my ass kicked. Almost.
Oh, so he's talking about you kicking.
Who else was gonna kick his ass?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Eminem very clearly said, "Almost got my caboose kicked. Full quit. You not gonna do shit." After the song's release, Nick responded on Instagram writing, "Fat Joe album is fire. Star-studded. He even did some charity work and dug Eminem out his grave. I mean cave, lol. Bring your ass to MTV Wild 'N Out to battle like a real legend, Grandpa Marshall." Kanan responded days later with a diss track titled The Invitation, where he once again wanted Eminem to appear on Wild 'N Out. Now, everyone knew Eminem was never going to go on that show. So the next day, Nick dropped another diss track called Pray For Him. After 2 songs with no response, he dropped a third diss titled Invitation Cancelled, where he brought up some old racist raps that Eminem made when he was a teenager. All of these diss tracks were horrible. They're not even worth talking about, and literally nobody thought Nick Cannon actually had some good shit to say. And regarding Nick Cannon's raps, 50 Cent said it best.
The only thing that makes him look corny is his rapping.
Yeah, I don't know why he's so passionate about it. Like what the hell's going on? Bro, look, you suck, bro.
That's tough.
You suck, bro. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. Like, there's never a moment where you said something and we was like, ooh.
That was a great video, Patrick.
Eminem
man.
did respond with a tweet. "I demand an apology, Nicholas. You've made my gardener so jealous. Somehow Mariah Carey's ex-husband managed to be so cringe, annoying, and pathetic that it made Eminem fans rationalize him as the winner of the feud. But in reality, Eminem and Mariah had a fling, then she brushed him off like just another random dude she was moderately interested in, and his ego was crushed for a decade, and she made the better
still on
song."
this topic that people has even thought about for years, right? And and then that was the first time I actually heard about like the racist tapes that Eminem made. But if that was the case, like, why wait so long to drop that? If that was, like, he could have said that years ago if he was gonna talk about it. But you waited until now, even after his legacy has been established, that he's been talked about as the greatest rapper for so long. Like, you waited until now. Like, it wasn't gonna that wasn't gonna do any damage, really. Like, come on now. But it's cool. Nick tried, I guess. And yeah, I wasn't sure if Eminem was gonna respond to that when he said it in 2020, but yeah, man. At least song-wise, I don't know if he was gonna respond in a song, but he didn't. So Nick said all of that for nothing. But as far as Mariah Carey goes, it's a W for Mariah Carey because, hey, bro, you went toe-to-toe with a rapper and you're a pop star. And then made a hit song on that rapper, had everybody jamming to that song while everybody knowing that it's a diss to Eminem. Wild. And dude, bro, no one's ever gonna forget about that, man. Dude, man, that was fire. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Go to my Patreon where all my unedited reaction videos will be at. If you want to further support, go to my Cash App, link in the description down below. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys, and I hope you guys are here to stay. But with that being said, you guys should already know this by now. I'm out of here, guys.